The information provided on this show does not, and is not intended to, constitute legal advice. Instead, all information on this show is for general informational purposes only. The information provided is not a substitute for legal advice, and we recommend viewers consult an attorney for specific legal matters.
Good morning, welcome back to Condo Craze and HOAs here on our YouTube channel. I'm Karen Curtis and I've been with Eric Glazer doing this show, oh my gosh, 15 years.
115 years, I think. Yeah.
Looks
I
like
get
it.
nothing.
Eric Glazer is board certified in community association law, which is a really hot topic right now here in Florida because of all the new laws. Half the state lives in a community association. He has an office here in Fort Lauderdale. He also has one in Orlando. And we'd love to get the phone lines going early and our YouTube chat box going early as well. So we are answering all your calls and HOA questions, condo, HOA, no matter where you live in the state, the country, the world, give us a call in the studio. It's toll free. Robert will answer it. It's 717-GLAZER-8 with a Z, 717-452-9378. And you can also visit us on the Condo Craze and HOAs channel, obviously on YouTube, and ask your question in the chat box. Some people ask the question in the chat box and on the phone.
They sure do.
Sure
Good morning, everybody. And if you're a fan of the show, don't forget to subscribe to two different things, as Karen was saying. Number one, of course, the Condo Craze and HOAs channel on YouTube. You don't have to watch the show live. You can watch it at your convenience, along with the other 100 or so shows that are now in our library. And, of course, subscribe to our email list at www.condocrazeandhoas.com. By joining our email list, you can get announcements about the show, our seminars, our free classes. We're certainly going to be talking about that this morning, updates on the law, and a whole lot more. Of course, we also do a blog every single Monday morning for the past 15 years. You can find that at hoa-condoblog.com. And tomorrow's topic, the DBPR has a lot more power, big changes to the statute, but will they use it? That's what it all boils down to.
That's a good question.
So, pretty interesting blog tomorrow. We'd love to hear the comments on that as well. So, as all of you know by now, we fought long and we fought hard, but we got what we wanted: mandatory education for all condo members, all HOA board members, and now all board members. Again, for both, you have to become certified by submitting both that document that you have to sign, stating that you read your governing documents. There's nothing wrong with that, obviously. Saying, okay, here's a form, I promise I read my governing documents.
Fine.
That's fine. But that in and of itself should never have been allowed for certification.
Confirming that you know what's going on.
Exactly,
That you actually
right.
read them. It was, what do they call that? It's like a
silliness, stupidity, ridiculousness.
Cursory.
All of those things, but whatever. So now you have to do both. Now you have to sign that form and take an educational course within 1 year prior to becoming a board member, or within 90 days of becoming a board member. And if you don't, that means you're off the board. Bottom line.
It's a procedural thing.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah, well, maybe.
A process crime.
A process, yes.
Oh, so it's still hard to believe that you were able to get certified signing that form saying that you'd read the documents, and we know nobody reads all, or do they understand them and comprehend them?
And right, nobody reads all the documents, of course not. So now we have mandatory education, but it's not the same for condo owners and HOA owners. It's absolutely not the same. So here we go. We're going to start with what condo owners need to know about education. Again, there's a difference between the two. So let's start with condominium owners. Statute says the educational curriculum must now be at least 4 hours long and include instruction on milestone inspections, structural integrity reserve studies, elections, record keeping, financial literacy and transparency, levying of fines, and notice and meeting requirements. All of those things.
And you started the course 15 years ago, and that's basically what you were teaching.
That's what we teach. We were teaching it, and then, of course, when the structural integrity reserve studies and mandatory inspections came along, of course we threw that in there. So that's certainly all covered in the class. A lot more topics.
You're the
now.
architect, so, and there is no problem in your class. I mean, you teach them all.
Every single one of these. Yeah, we make sure to comply with the statute and then some. Let's put it that way.
Right.
So, okay, here's some more about the new laws. A director of an education of a residential condominium who was elected before July 1st. So in other words, let's say you're already on the board. You have some time to comply with the new written certification and educational requirements. You have, again, this is for condos, for condo directors. If you are already on the board, you have until June 30th of 2025 to take this 4-hour class.
And the people that took your class before the law was signed into, the bill was signed into law?
To be safe. I mean, only knew that last month, where I was teaching it. But to be safe, yeah, you have to take it over now. You must, right. Absolutely have to take it over because brand new law starts July 1st. They want everybody to take it, a 4-hour minimum class going forward. Okay, so must do it. If you were on the board as of July 1st, however, you get until June 30th.
Like another year.
2025. You do, right. I'm not saying you should do that, but,
Okay. And this is for a 7-year period?
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, let's talk about time. So the written certification or the educational certificate, that's valid now for 7 years if you're in a condo after the date of issuance. So I give it to you. That certificate is valid for 7 years, and it doesn't have to be resubmitted as long as the director serves on the board without interruption during the 7-year period.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Okay. But they have to take continuing education.
Exactly, right.
So.
It sounds, if you read that in and of itself,
you only have to go every 7 years.
It sounds as if you have to go every 7 years. That ain't the case. You'd be wrong if you thought that way because the law continues. 1 year after submission of the most recent certification and educational certificate, and I didn't even ask for this, but here it goes, and annually thereafter, a director of an association of a residential condominium must submit to the secretary of the association a certificate of having satisfactorily completed at least 1 hour of continuing education administered by the division or a division-approved condominium education provider relating to any recent changes to 718 and the related administrative rules during the year. So bottom line is, education is now required every year for condominium directors as long as there is a change to the law that year. So you have to go through now, to be clear, with that 4-hour minimum class, that you have to do, period. Okay? So if there's going to be elections coming up, right? Any election that starts from this point forward, and you get on the board, you have 90 days now to take this 4-hour class, and then every year thereafter, you have to take the 1-hour class.
So if there's no change to the condominium statute,
then you don't have to take the 1-hour course every year because there's nothing to talk about.
Gotcha.
But let's not confuse everybody because I can tell you right now.
Yeah, no, I'm confused.
Lots of changes are going to keep coming over the next few years because we already had Representative Perez say, Lopez say that unquestionably she's working on Condo 4.0 next year.
Okay,
so
good.
we know things are going to be confusing over the next couple of years. So, hang in there.
It occurs to me, had you not sent that letter to Governor DeSantis after Surfside and the legislature just totally whiffing and doing nothing, and you said if another building falls, it's on you. And then now we have the new laws.
Yep, that's what happened. Again, I'll leave that to everybody to make their decision as to how much role we played in that. But we sent out that letter. We were relentless on this show. We were relentless on CBS News because we couldn't believe it that the legislature went home after 98 people died without not a single change. You look at it on 60 Minutes when that episode went to 60 Minutes.
Which you were on.
Yeah, and it says, Governor, we're proud to say the bill passes 110 to nothing. 4 days ago, you went home. You know what I'm saying?
They came back and fixed it.
Now you came back and you passed it 110 to nothing. 4 days ago, you went home for the summer.
Unbelievable story.
That's what really happened. Okay, but if you watched a 60 Minutes in and of itself, you'd never know that. Okay, let's talk about education requirements for HOA directors. Okay,
Oh.
Hey, let's switch it up. HOA directors.
Their
now.
laws barely change at all ever.
Correct. But you know, the education's taken so seriously this year that you can argue that the HOA directive is even harder than the condo directive for education. So get ready. So here's the HOA law. Within 90 days after being elected or appointed to the board, each director must submit a certificate of having satisfactorily completed the educational curriculum administered by a department-approved education provider. The newly elected or appointed director must complete the education for newly elected or appointed directors within 90 days after being elected to the board. So same thing so far, right?
Okay.
You have to get past the educational class, take the educational class within 90 days or within 1 year, right?
What about the members of the current board? What do they do?
So we've just said if you've been on the current board in an HOA, you get to June 25th. Doesn't say that in the HOA statute. All it says is...
on the condo board it says, yeah.
Condo board, it says it. You get to June 30th if you've been on the board.
A year. You get a year.
Condo board members don't get it. Condo board members say within 90 days of getting on the board, period, you have to get certified. So a little different when it comes to HOA members.
All right. And where the certificate for condo directors is good for 7 years, what about HOA laws?
Okay, so
why didn't they make this homogenous and universal? I don't get it.
Because why make things easy when there's a perfectly difficult way to do it?
And they don't have DBPR, the HOA.
Correct.
Okay.
Very good. That's right. Okay. So technically, though, the DBPR is supposed to approve this class. So it's just...
I don't get it.
Me either. Let's let it go. Let's not confuse everybody. Okay. So again, condo board members, we said 7 years, right? How does it work for HOA members? A director must complete the education certificate to newly elected or appointed directors at least every 4 years.
Oh.
So in effect, they're making it even harder, the education requirement tougher for HOA members, even though condo members, there's so much more to know. The department-approved education course specific to newly elected or appointed directors must include training related to financial literacy and transparency, record keeping, levying of fines, notices of meeting requirements, and more.
Was that because of what happened in the hammocks?
Probably. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
There was a lot of testimony
That was a
about the
major
You're
problem.
right. I didn't even bring that up, but you're right. The hammock situation really woke up the legislature as to what the hell is going on in HOAs. And again, for the record, I represented them before all of that went down.
Right.
Okay.
And then after you did.
After I left, apparently the S hit the fan. But we can actually say the word. We're on YouTube.
I think you can.
We can even say the word.
Knock yourself out.
Wow, I never said it. Very weird to say that. All right, the shit hit the fan. Okay, that feels very
fecal
weird to
matter
say.
hit the rotating blades.
Like, wow, holy cow! I actually said that.
Cathartic. But it was millions that were stolen.
Yeah,
millions.
A lot of people went to jail.
And
a lot
Catherine
of people,
Fernandez
I think,
Rundle
are still
is
in jail.
criminal.
Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah, let me tell you something about Kathy Fernandez Rundle. She doesn't joke when it comes to these cases.
No.
She does not look. This is good press when these types of cases, but she really takes these cases seriously. As a matter of fact, we got to get her on the show.
Love to
talk about this new statute. She's a legend.
She is a legend
in Dade County after all this time. How many years?
Years and years and years.
Think about it. She came in right after Janet Reno.
Yeah.
So think of how long, and Reno was the Clinton administration.
That was Elian Gonzalez. That would have been.
So think about it. That she is here. Imagine.
98.
So she's here as Dade County attorney all this time.
And she still looks fabulous.
Yeah, she does. Right?
Yeah.
Just an incredible run. Yeah, absolutely a legend. And yes, our class, just for the record, meets all of those requirements. But let's talk about continuing education for HOA board members, because they have to take continuing education classes just like condo directors do, but the statute's different. In addition to the educational curriculum for newly elected or appointed directors, a director of an association that has fewer than 2,500 parcels, and that's the overwhelming majority, must complete at least 4 hours of continuing education annually. So think about that. Condo members, they only need 1 hour, right? HOA members need 4 hours of continuing education every year. A director of an association that has 2,500 parcels or more, you have to complete 8 hours of continuing education.
So I have a question.
Massive.
You were teaching your classes and it was combined,
Yes.
condo HOA.
Yep.
Now you have to teach separately?
Nope, I know. We spoke about this with the division the other day, and it looks so far still so good.
So the condo people can leave after an hour and the HOA people have to stay for the continuing education?
What they should both do.
Is stay.
Don't tell them to do. You see, you're too smart for your job is the damn problem. so
They would stay anyway
we
with
want
you.
them to stay.
Yeah.
Right, stay, because why not take a refresher anyway? There's people that have taken the course so many times.
Plus, you can probably get through the HOA stuff in an hour, and you need the 4 hours for
Right,
the condo
right.
people.
Just stay. It's a good idea to see how the two different types of communities treat it anyway, you know. But it's kind of interesting that the condo laws got so confusing over the last few years.
They did.
With mandatory inspections, right? Mandatory reserves. Yet HOA members have an even greater continuing education requirement. Why? You know, I don't know.
Just go to your class and it'll be fine.
It is what it is. And I tell you this, as the 25,000 of you know that have been certified with me, that is my love, that is my honor, that is my treasure. When we get
Your
back,
legacy.
my legacy, we'll talk about the classes that are coming up, because they really are coming up, and how you should register early, because there's no question in my mind we're going to hit a point where we got to close them.
Yeah,
I mean that.
'cause
I'm
now
looking
everyone
into
has
the
to do it.
camera, and I'm telling you, and in all sincerity, at some point we're going to hit a point where we're going to have to close them, because again, so the new education requirements now, all of those people that were just getting certified by signing that silly, stupid, self-serving form, well, the jig is up for them, right? Every single one of them now that didn't do it before has to do it now. So
And
think
was,
about the thousands of people that have to take this
And
class.
how do they prove that they took it?
We're going to issue them a certificate. I maintain the records. The records don't go to the DBPR. People think they do. It's a lot of it is what's the word I'm looking for? Self-certifying in a way. The only way you get caught is when someone in your community
says you
says,
did.
"Hey, let me see your certification," and
okay.
it doesn't exist, right?
Or you just printed it up through AI?
Guess technically you can do that. We'll be back with a different co-host after this.
They should put it on the website. The
Right.
certifications.
Yeah.
The new courses?
What a great idea.
Let's do this. Let's come back. I'll call them out. And when we come back, we'll put all the new courses up on the website. We'll take our first break of the hour. 717-GLAZER-8 again, 717-GLAZER-8, 717-452-9378. Or drop us a question or a comment in the chat box. We'll be back right after this.
There are very large management companies, and there are very small management companies, and I think Affinity sits somewhere in the middle of that, where they are big enough to provide you with all of the back-of-the-house services, the accounting, the infrastructure, the support systems, but small enough to be high touch.
We believe at Affinity that we do the 9 to 5 so that you don't have to do that.
Oh no! An unexpected leak! Jay, you know that's no way to solve a roof problem. Call Best Roofing. We solve roof problems.
We are DMI Paving and Seal Coating, Florida's parking lot experts. We specialize in asphalt paving and repair, including pothole repair, seal coating using JC7 or polytar, concrete curbs, ramps, and walkways, and striping and pavement marking, as well as ADA compliance. We service commercial properties, including homeowners associations, apartment communities, shopping malls, warehouses, stadiums and arenas, and more. Experience is worth more than anything in an industry like ours, and our staff has decades of it. We have specialized equipment for any job, regardless of size, saving you time and money. DMI has a reputable history. We have been in business since 1956. We serve the state of Florida from 6 locations. Let us bid on your next parking lot project. Visit us online at dmipavingandsealcoating.com.
Rimkus Consultants offer the professional expertise to help condominium and cooperative communities provide safe, compliant buildings for their tenants. We have more than 170 Florida licensed engineers and architects who are experienced with local regulations and can assist with Senate Bill 4D compliance. We can help with milestone structural inspections, capital expenditure evaluations, structural integrity reserve studies, and developer transition reports. Focusing on energy, resilience, maintainability, and sustainability, our experts can help with every phase of the building life cycle. For mitigation after a catastrophic event, building restoration, repair and remediation consulting, or Senate Bill 4D inspections, please visit rimkus.com.
Welcome back to Condo Craze and HOAs here on our YouTube channel. And we're getting different euphemisms for the shit at the fan. The defecation hit the oscillating fan. Anyway, it's great. And then just 2 quick questions.
Yes,
One of them is if you're in an HOA or a condo and you're not on the board but you live there, can you take your class?
Absolutely. We certainly won't tell anybody that's not on the board you can't come. As a matter of fact, remember, if you take the class within 1 year of becoming a board member, you're certified. So you may take the course and change your mind that you want to be on the board
there you go.
At some point, and now you're certified.
And what
a lot of people who are not on the book, use it as a selling point when they do decide to run for the board.
That you've taken
I'm so interested, even though I wasn't on the board, I took the course, I'm now certified. That shows you how interested I am to be a board member.
Eric Glazer is a personal friend of mine.
Exactly,
I have
right.
a hotline
We taught it
number to
one-on-one
him.
in his house, exactly, right.
And the other question, there's a couple people that want to know the answer. If you want to recall a member of the board and you put, what they did out there, will you be sued for defamation?
So you want to recall the board members because you believe they did something wrong. As we always said on the show, truth is a defense, right? So there's no problem in telling the members of the community, this is why we should recall Jane and Bob, because this is what we know they did. This is the proof of what we know.
But you can't say they're a thief and stole.
Don't call anybody a thief. Don't call anybody a thief.
So how do you, if you think they did steal money, how do you broach that?
If you have proof, just put up the paperwork, put up the documents. Okay. Look, what's crazy? I got an email.
Say this money's missing and we don't.
Yeah, but we don't know where it is.
Yeah.
I would not say that they stole. I have no proof that they stole it.
That would be defamation.
Yeah. I got an email. I told Robert about this. I don't know if I told you. I got an email about a week ago that said I'm too heavy-handed when it comes to how I feel about board members. I attack board members too much.
You do?
And I was so offended by that.
I don't get
because I'm like, if there's anybody who has stood up for board members over the years, I think, and who understands how difficult the job is. I mean, just look at what we teach every single day.
You honor board members for doing it for free.
For doing it for, right, exactly, and just how hard it is.
And you help them with information. You love board members.
So that particular email absolutely bothered me. So again, board members are working their butt off generally for no pay, and just because they want to help their building. Now, are there those that want to get on the job because they want to divert contracts to people they know, maybe dip their hand into the candy jar? Of course. And what have I always said over the years? The same thing goes for lawyers.
Right.
There's a lot of bad lawyers out there who dip their hand into the trust account. Doctors who commit Medicaid fraud. People who commit all kinds of crimes. There's no, you gotta show me statistics that show it's any higher in the HOA or condo world than it is in the regular business world. And until I see that, I don't believe it.
But if you're going to go after a board member, you want to make sure you have your ducks in a row.
Absolutely.
Don't go after a board member by using, ad hominem.
Exactly.
He's a thief and he's
And you know what? It's interesting. We're going to talk about the fact, though, that board members get called this type of stuff so often.
Right.
What they do, however, is they ask the association's counsel to sue that person back. And you'll find out in the new laws they can't do that
They can't do that anymore. No, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
No, you cannot have those type
Countersuit.
of retaliation lawsuits. That's what they call them.
Ah, that might
And we'll
be.
talk about that. It's
that's
a great
huge.
topic.
That's huge.
So those people who wrote that in and want to know the how
countersuit
the
is
new
gone.
laws address that, hang on. Absolutely.
Interesting.
Okay, let's talk about our new classes because we promised everybody that we're going to talk about that. We always say election season is around the corner. Just to remind everybody, you can get certified within 1 year of getting on the board or within 90 days thereafter. Karen, help me call out the schedule. So
Yep.
here we go. All of these are at the L&L Condo and HOA Expo. Beautiful day, all types of different classes all day long. It all starts, I have the honor of kicking off every single one of these expos at 8:30 in the morning, and they're all around the state.
Remember when we used to do them at the Hard Rock?
Yes, we did
15
do
years
them at
ago,
the Hard
because
Rock.
no one L&L, all this didn't happen.
We
It's now,
were the only show
yeah,
in town
yeah.
for the long run, right?
It's so funny. So October 9th, Palm Beach Convention Center,
Right.
8:30 in the morning.
8:30 in the morning. A week later, October 15th, Broward County Convention Center.
October 24th, Tampa Bay Convention Center.
October 29th, Bradenton Convention Center.
And November 13th, Orlando Orange County Convention
Absolutely.
Center. And to register, go to the website, World Wide Web, condocrazeandhoas.com, and you teach so many different topics.
We keep adding to it.
And the new laws and all that will be taught for HOA and condo, importance of safety inspection, reserve funding, importance of from time to time language.
Karen, you have no idea how the time to time language issue is coming up for time and time again now.
Often.
Okay, so there's actually a case, someone sent me the video. It was somewhere on the west coast of Florida where everybody's happy with this new law that lives in this HOA that says, great, I can park my vehicle, it has a lettering on it from my business.
I'm good.
In my garage, in my, outside my garage, in front of my own home. Thank God, I've been wanting this forever. And you know what the HOA said? I'm sorry.
Violation.
No, no, you can't, because we don't have Kaufman language in our documents. Violation.
Yes,
Okay.
you've met Cynthia.
So, right. So let me tell you something. So here, and this guy's saying here, I thought the hand of God came down and saved me. I've been fighting to keep my car in my garage for so many years.
You're in the driveway.
Yeah, when DeSantis signed the bill, so many of us in the community were dancing. We couldn't have been happier. And then we hear, wait a minute, it means nothing?
There could be a fix for that, though.
We're going to certainly freaking try. I'll put it out there. What, how do I say that? I can say that. I'm secretly hoping an association gets sued for this, right?
Okay.
Because I think this
And you'll
has
work
to
with
go back to the Supreme Court.
Which you argued for
We
the
argued,
first time.
okay, so
And
the Supreme Court didn't buy my argument the first time.
They
okay?
will now.
This is in November. This is in February 2011, okay, where I was screaming that you have to allow this new law to stay because the state has the power under its police powers to make laws for health, safety, welfare of members of
This
the
is for the
condominium
Grand.
HOA community. The Grand case, Cohn versus Grand case. Shot down. Okay, shot down.
Unanimously.
Unanimously. So now I want to stand in front of the Supreme Court and say, remember I was here in 2011? Well, now we have a different scenario. Now we have a scenario where a few years ago we had 98 people die. Right? In Surfside at the Champlain Towers.
Definitely safety.
The police powers of the state said mandatory reserves. That's the only way we're going to be able to keep people alive, potentially. I want to almost dare the Supreme Court to say, no, we're going to strike it down. The state doesn't have the power to require
But
that.
isn't it a case-by-case basis?
Yes. Yes.
And in condos, it's going to be different than HOAs. This is an HOA, so if that's
It
HOA
would
brought
be
the
the
case,
same.
it would be the same?
There's an HOA case on point that says also if you don't have the as amended from time to time language, you don't get the benefit
But
of
it's
the
not the
news.
safety so much with the HOA. It's
Correct.
his
That's
car with the
correct.
letters on it.
Right.
It really doesn't
That's
apply.
different when at HOAs. That's correct.
But another case would.
Right. But I want the issue of police powers to go back to the Supreme Court, and I really want to look them in the eye and say, you're really going to say the state doesn't have the power to force people to put away reserves? Because
Is it all the same jurists on the board on the
no,
Supreme Court?
completely new bench.
Oh,
completely
well, that's
new
right.
bench.
DeSantis put a bunch of new ones.
Right, exactly. So I don't.
So you
I
can't
don't
go
know how
nana
they-
nana boo
But
boo.
how can you possibly look at the legislature in the eye and say, sorry, you don't have the power to do that after you have all these victims at the Champlain Towers? So I'm hoping secretly to be standing in front of the Supreme Court again, defending an association, and an association
Ooh, that'll
wanting
be
to
big.
have reserves.
That'll be big.
So yes, I'm got my fingers crossed.
So someone sue their association and hire Eric?
Yes, that's
yeah,
what we're
yeah,
saying.
Again, I'm looking
Your
for that.
lips to God's ears.
I'm looking for that specific case. That would be a joy to go back
If you
to.
think we're in the weeds, we're not. This is all very important stuff.
Oh, this is
really,
critical.
really critical stuff.
Listen, I'm telling you, someone's going to sue. It's
Yeah,
soon.
yeah,
Someone, you're going to
yeah.
hear a case where here we are, everybody's scared about being forced to put away reserves and what it
Yeah.
means. You're going to have a lawsuit
Yep.
that says, I don't have to put away reserves because my docs allowed me to waive, allowed the community to waive, and the new law doesn't apply to us because we also don't have Kaufman language. I know that that's going to be a lawsuit challenging it, and I don't think a trial court judge would have a choice but to say, I agree. I agree. And you can't force
to get
them.
it to the Supreme
Yeah,
Court.
the unit owners in that building have a right to waive reserves, period. So that's going to be interesting. A trial court judge, I don't think, would have the right to go any other way.
But first, the
They would
attorney,
have to get to the Supreme Court.
the attorney and the board would have to realize they have Kaufman language that precludes them from following the law.
If it doesn't have Kaufman,
doesn't have-
this doesn't have
sorry.
Kaufman language, it would preclude them from following the law because
But
unit
you
owners
have,
would
they
have
may
a right,
not even know it.
which they don't. Right, exactly. And watch this damn show. All right, let's take our bottom of the hour break because let me tell you something. Your attorney better know this.
Yes.
It's important to know. Okay, this is important stuff. Okay, all right. Taking your calls, 717 Glazer 8, 717 Glazer 8. That's 717-452-9378. Or drop us a question in the chat box, which we'll get back to after this break. See you in a few.
Is your condominium or HOA in need of accounting services? Look no further. Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg is one of South Florida's largest accounting and auditing firms, as recognized by the South Florida Business Journal, and is one of the few accounting firms uniquely specialized to provide accounting services to their growing condominium and homeowner association clientele throughout Florida. With primary offices in Aventura and Boca Raton, satellite offices in Naples and Orlando, and a professional staff of 65, Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg is prepared to meet the needs of any condominium or HOA in the state. The professionals at Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg also have experience working with timeshares, cooperatives, hotel condominiums, mixed-use buildings, and ancillary operations like restaurants, spas, and country clubs. Put their 25 years experience in your corner. Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg, 305-937-0116. That's 305-937-0116 or grgcpa.com.
All over the world, people have plumbing problems. These problems can be expensive and destructive to fix. Have you ever wondered if there was a way to take care of your plumbing problems without destruction and an outrageous price tag? Welcome to Pipelining Technologies, Inc., where we specialize in fixing your problems without demolition and minimum cutting by means of pipelining. Pipelining is the ability to take a pipe damaged by root intrusion or long-term deterioration and make it new. By means of inserting an epoxy-saturated liner into the pipe and allowing it to harden or cure, leaving behind a brand new pipe.
That sounds great. How can I get pipelining in my home, commercial building, or condominium?
Simply fill out our online contact form and a pipelining representative will get in touch with you in a timely fashion. Or call us directly at 561-853-5463.
Welcome back to the second half of Condo Craze and HOAs here on our YouTube channel. Just in the break, Eric was telling me that all HOAs in their docs, no Kaufman language,
Kaufman
zero.
Yep.
And about half condo docs have Kaufman. So
That's why this HOA in upstate is saying, I don't have to listen to any of these new laws. Goodbye.
oh my God. Okay,
Yeah.
what a mess. Anyway, we know you're on the phone. I'm not going to even give it out because we need to get to the phone.
Yes, the phones are stacked. Here we go, Robert.
Let's go to Glenn.
Morning, Glenn.
Good morning.
Where are you calling from?
Vero Beach.
Vero Beach. How can we help?
Yeah. I was trying to find, I know in the law, I'm in an HOA, and the Kaufman language is really interesting stuff too, but I thought there was something in the new law regarding like speed enforcement in an HOA. Is that true or not?
Yeah, there originally was. I believe it was pulled out of the bill. Basically, there was a lot of chaos over the years about people are I'm getting speeding tickets in my
from
community.
the association, not from cops.
From the association, right? And they're not authorized to give me speeding tickets. So I believe it was originally in the bill. I have to check. That we're going to take out the ability of HOAs to give those types of tickets. I don't remember.
Was it more like a fine?
Yes, right. But I don't remember if it wound up in the final bill. So I have to check that, and I will let you know. Okay?
Good question.
Yeah, it was a good question, and I'm going to try to check that during the break.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You got it. Yeah, I owe him an explanation on that. No two ways about it. How can we take the next call? Who do we got?
Let's go to Leonard.
Leonard.
Leonard. Good morning.
Leo.
Leonard, Leo.
Yes, good morning, Eric. You probably remember Sear Tower, that's same Leonard Milan.
I'm not sure. Yes. How are you?
And I appreciate you.
Yeah. Yes. How are you?
Help and your explanation, and we really like your show.
Thank you so much.
I have two quick questions.
Yes.
Yes. First about committee meetings and minutes. We have a grievance committee that has a substantial authority and is carrying out a portion of the responsibility of the board. The first meeting was scheduled, but without proper notice for the community and conducted without any respect to Robert's law. So it was not agenda, it was not a roll of calls, adjournment, everything else. And the management office secretary without experience conducting this meeting. Assistant manager and secretary of the board, as I am, it was prohibited to this meeting. I was denied access to this meeting, and I was told it's prohibited by Florida statutes without even specifying the statute. The manager, who was supposed to be, in my opinion, be there, just left. And in my understanding, any committee exercising authority of the board should be guided by all of the procedural governed like a board meeting, including records of committee members' votes and rights and owners present. So would you please explain what is right?
I think you're right. Exactly. The statutes regarding meetings being properly noticed apply to committee meetings as well. And there's absolutely no reason why you as an owner are not entitled to attend those committee meetings. Same basic rules apply for committee meetings as they apply to regular board meetings. So yes, you should have had the right to attend, and you certainly had a right to complain about it.
And record should be kept like a regular board meeting, right?
Yes, they should. Now, you know, it's weird because there's nothing under the statutes that actually talk about minutes. It's the it says you have to maintain minutes. But yes, if the board, if there's a committee meeting being taken, that committee should also maintain minutes. Although I don't believe there's anything in the statute that requires committee members to do that. But there definitely is something for the boards to maintain the minutes. But I can't think of anything specific in the statute that requires committees to have it, but board meetings do have to have it.
Yes,
okay, that might not be the answer you want to hear, so you did 50-50. That's the best I can give you today.
Okay, my second question is about building links. You know, as we all know, we have a building links, and we have two of them. One is for regular public, and access to this for the unit owners, and we have another building link, administrative access. So we got a new manager who solo provide access to administrative building link to valet, to hospitality manager, project manager. But suddenly, he took access to this administrative building link to board member. He just left president and nobody else. Is this right or not? And who has the right to have access to the administrative building link?
Okay, so you're saying you have two different types of links, one administrative and one other. And the only answer I can give you is the only thing I would care about is look at the statute, look at the regarding, you're certainly in a condominium that has more than 25 units. So is your building complying with the law that requires a website address for the community? The fact that you have two, one may be only for members of the board. Okay, I don't think I have a problem with that as long as there is a website that is complying with the statute. Okay? That's the bottom line to me. That's what I want to know. Okay?
But who make decision? Who make decision of access to administrative link?
I don't know. That's something I don't know, buddy. That's something that your board obviously should have been done in a meeting. But as long as the building is complying with the law regarding website, I think they're good. Okay. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it, Leonard. Who else we got?
Next caller, I think this is Bob. It's a caller from Palm Beach. If you hear him.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, Eric, thank you very much for your show. I got two questions for you. Number one is we have two condos. We're trying to figure out which one we can afford to live in.
Right.
One of them in the restoration projects is using pooled funds. Do those pooled funds have to be paid back? Because they never answered my question about it.
So when you do the analysis of every year, when you have your reserve study, right? Your reserve study is going to tell you, yes, how it has to get paid back depending upon the life expectancy of each component in that pool. If that answers your question, there's going to be a new analysis, and that analysis is going to tell you how much money you now have to contribute each month towards replenishing that reserve account so that there's always enough money in the account to pay for anything else that may break down in that pooled account. I hope that answers your question. Sounds confusing. The answer is yes, it has to be paid back, but the reason it has to be paid back is because now you need to catch up with a whole new reserve study. You don't have enough money in there anymore.
Right.
Okay? So
in our other condo, they have no reserves. So how much time will we have when they do a reserve study that we have to pitch in?
Okay, so again, it's all based upon the condition of your property. So let's say, let me give you an example. Everybody's worried about, we have to fund all this on day one? So let's say it's brand new construction, right? You move into your condo. We have no money in reserves, let's say, hypothetically. And oh my God, do we have to put in all the money for a new roof right away? All the money for new pavement, all the money for new painting? No. Why? Because when someone does an analysis of your building, they're going to say, wow, this is great. This is brand new construction. The condition of the structure is fantastic. I'm going to give it a 20-year life expectancy. So instead of paying back the $5 million that it's going to cost to do the construction of the building eventually, you don't have to do it the first year. That $5 million's got to get paid back over 20 years now. Okay? Same thing, because it's a new building, everything's going to be given a tremendous timetable to pay back all these things. So who's going to suffer under the new law? The ones that are going to suffer under the new law is those that have waived reserves for 20, 30 years in a row and didn't care much about fixing their building and keeping it in good condition. And if you're 3 stories or more, because when it's time to do a reserve analysis on your building, it's going to be like, wait a minute, this component only has 2-3 years left. This component only has a year left. This component only has 5 years left, and we have no money in the bank. Right. So now we have a big problem. In those types of buildings, you're in big, giant trouble.
Or like my building, we have the pool deck and the roof is at 15 years, so we have to have them both fully funded, right?
Within 15 years.
They're both at
15. They're both at 15 years. So what's their life expectancy left?
0. They're at 15 years.
0 years.
Yeah.
So you have to come up with all this money now.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's no way out.
It's about to get expensive for you.
So there's no way out. Guy's going to ask me for a raise
He is.
right on
I
the
know,
air.
right here.
He has no shit. Unbelievable.
I have to cover my reserves, Eric, because you made it happen.
Yeah. So that's in Robert's situation. He's the reverse of what I just explained, right? In his situation, wow, everything is going to be due right now. So the answer to everybody's question is: it depends how much money you have in the bank, how old your building is, and what the condition is of your components. And how much money you have. So if you haven't funded it and you need new stuff, God help you.
It's like Surfside you're building.
Yeah, it is Surfside.
Thanks a lot.
That's scary.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Let's take one more before we go to break.
All right, let's go to Mo.
Hey, Mo. I love saying that, hey, Mo. It's
Hey,
just
Mo.
exactly like the Great Stooges.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yes, hey, Mo. Good morning.
Good morning.
How can we help? Mo, where are you calling from?
The Umbrella Association told two real estate agents they cannot have an open house to show the condos they are trying to sell.
Interesting.
But
Interesting.
They did not provide any written, and there's nothing in the bylaws. So I was wondering, is there anything in this Florida statute that they cannot show, they're not allowed to show a unit they're trying to sell?
So the board can make reasonable rules and regulations regarding the common areas in a condo, right? So is this a condo we're talking about or an HOA we're talking about?
It's a condo.
Condo, okay. So as I said, board can make reasonable rules regarding the common areas, right? So would it be a reasonable rule to say no open houses? Well, I don't know if you can do that so fast, but maybe you could make a rule that says, okay, if you're having an open house, only X number of your visitors can use guest parking, because that would take away all of our guest parking. You know, and maybe during that time you have to have somebody in the parking lot monitoring it or
Why
something
can't you do it
along
by
those
appointment?
lines. Or very good, or you do it by appointment, spaced out every
Perfect.
half hour. Right? Very good, Karen.
Oh, yeah.
Good suggestion. But to just say no open houses, period, no one can ever come see it, no, I think that would be a really difficult road to hoe. And I think on balance, I think the association would really have a tough spot upholding such a rule. If the unit owners wanted it to absolutely be fine, then they could put it in their governing documents. That would take about a 75% vote.
And they probably do the same thing for estate sales.
Right, exactly. With
Yeah.
estate sales, you can do that. Space them out, I think,
Yeah.
is a fantastic suggestion by Karen. But to just put an automatic block on
Yeah.
it when there's other more reasonable ways to deal with it, like you said, Karen, with a schedule, I think that would go down in flames. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
You
Thank
got
you
it.
very much.
You got
Thanks,
it.
Mo.
Let's do this, Mo. Let's take our final break of the hour. Taking your call, 717-GLAZER-8, or drop us a question or comment in the chat box on YouTube. Back right.
Is your home or condo looking old, worn out, and in need of a fresh look? Then you need PD Painting to paint your property and make it look like new again. PD Painting will first properly prepare your home and condo and then use only the highest quality paint products. After many years in the painting industry, PD Painting has achieved a reputation for always delivering a reliable and professional finish. PD Painting is fully licensed and insured and offers a 7 to 10 year warranty. Their technicians are expert craftsmen. Let PD Painting handle all the details and then sit back and watch them restore your property and bring back that brand new look and feel. Need a service call? PD Painting will be there on the spot. Need financing? PD Painting can offer that too. Call PD Painting at 888-416-3204. Again, that's 888-416-3204. Go to the website pdpaintinginc.com. Need painting done in your home and community? Contact the experts at PD Painting.
This message is for anyone who has taken on the important responsibility of becoming an officer or director in a homeowner or condominium association. It is also for the management companies who work closely with these caring people to make sure things are done the right way. Hello, I'm Gil Pomar, South Florida Regional President for Center State Bank, now the second largest bank based in Florida. Our bank, Center State Bank, has an amazing team of professionals who are exclusively dedicated to the homeowner and condo association market. Your job is not easy. There are repairs and new projects that need financing. financing. There are legal and social issues that need to be understood. There are also technology and servicing issues that your residents want to be improved. Why not choose a bank that knows this business backward and forward? Why not have a local banker who will meet with you face to face whenever it is convenient for you or your board? Center State Bank has over 2,000 associations as customers for a reason. Please give us a chance to earn your business. Call Terry Russo at 954-633-1666 to make it happen. Center State Bank is an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC.
Need an insurance evaluation, audit, or quotation for your condo association or homeowners association? If so, then you need to speak with our insurance experts at Mack & Waltz. We insure over 800 associations, and we are the clear leader in this marketplace. Mack & Waltz has been in business since 1989. We write insurance on billions of dollars of property values. We are an independent insurance agency representing insurance companies which specialize in condo and HOA insurance. The staff at Mack & Waltz works closely with board members and property managers and regularly attends association meetings to help educate the association about their insurance policies. To learn more about how Mack & Waltz can save you money and improve your insurance program, call now 954-640-6225 and ask for Greg Waltz. 954-640-6225. Mack & Waltz Insurance Group. Let us protect your association.
Weird chime.
Yes.
I heard a bring, bring. Okay, anyway, we're back to Condo Grace and HOAs. Karen Curtis here with attorney Eric Glazer talking about actually.
I'm freaked out.
I know. Go
I'm
ahead.
freaked out. I really am. So during the break, we were talking about AI. You actually punched the gentleman who called earlier about
speeding fines.
Yeah, speeding
in
fines.
An HOA.
HOA having the ability to hit someone with speeding fines, and the AI came back with there's currently nothing under Florida law prohibiting it. There was supposed to be a provision in the statute which would prevent it. It was revoked from the statute the way I see it. So freaking AI is right.
Yep.
Me and you can get up and we're useless.
You're done.
You can just ask your questions to AI, apparently. It really is scary. But what's scarier is that I found out, and for those of you who are in the elderly crowd and go to doctors all the time routinely.
And you're having like x-ray scans, blood tests.
This is insane to me.
You can upload them in the AI and it'll read it for you.
You take your X-ray, you take your MRI, you take your CAT scan.
Because they give you the disc.
Okay, so
when
you're
you leave,
holding the disc.
Stick it in there.
Explain what you do. You take that scan that you
Take the disc and you download the photos and then you upload it in whatever AI you're using. There's all different kinds. Most of them have to be advanced because they have to allow the image, and then you just put the image in and say, what am I looking at? And it will tell you basically what you're looking at.
You're looking
But it'll say
at
consult a physician.
A CT scan
of this patient, no contrast material. There is this, there is that.
There's something in the stomach that looked at. It could be X, it could be Y.
We see this, we see that, we see lymph nodes involved, whatever.
AI is reading your, radiologists are going to be not necessary perhaps sooner than later.
Well, that's what Elon Musk said. Things are about to get really weird.
That is unbelievable to me. Your AI is reading your CAT scan.
AI actually made my headshot. I took a bunch of different headshots and it made a beautiful headshot.
You don't need to do that with AI. Come on, stop. Wow. I mean,
it's amazing.
It's amazing. So world is about to get crazy.
Don't be afraid of it.
Okay.
All the callers need Eric Glazer, not
That's
AI.
still right.
That's
Better
right.
than
Sorry.
AI, hopefully. All right, let's go back to the phones.
All right. Let's see.
Can we beat the computer? Right? That's what it boils down to now. Unbelievable.
The shit's about to hit the fan.
Unbelievable.
With AI.
All right, let's go to John.
John,
John,
Hey,
how are
you
you?
doing?
Good morning. Where are you calling from, John?
John, this is John from Danger Beach.
Okay. Hey, John, how are you?
you're not a bot, are you?
Good morning, Sam.
What's going on,
And
John?
by the way, okay, just two quick questions and a comment. You know, I do this really quickly. Okay, meeting minutes from a meeting between the board and the attorney that was close to everyone else.
Yes.
Okay, can I request those?
Is the matter over? That's the question of the day. So
I don't know what they discussed. It was just the agenda item as posted was legal matters.
Okay.
So I don't know.
So if that document is going to include private communications between the attorney and the board regarding a litigation or potential for litigation or administrative case, absolutely not. You can't get them.
That's ongoing.
Ongoing or potential, the potential, right? We may get sued by, or we may sue X. Can't get those, okay? But once the matter is over, right? Let's say you had a lawsuit against Joe Smith, right, in your association. That lawsuit is now over and done with. You can get all the private communications between the attorney and client after that case is over.
So the privilege goes away once it's done.
Privilege is gone. Yeah, that privilege is gone once the case is over. But
is that true with any case?
Okay, good.
No, it's applied, but it is true in condos. That privilege always remains.
Don't have Kaufman. If you do have Kaufman.
I don't even know how Kaufman applies. So you're confusing me, Cam.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Great, guys. I appreciate that. The other question I had was, and I may be splitting hairs here, but as I understand it, the new law, and we do have Kaufman language, the new law provides for company vehicles with lettering, et cetera, can now be parked in HOAs.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, the statute reads can be parked in your driveway. What if we have assigned parking? Same thing, they can park in the assigned parking where you don't have a driveway?
So can the car parked can you park the car anywhere if in your assigned parking that's not necessarily in your driveway? Is that what you're asking me?
Right, because we have assigned parking in townhomes that don't have garages.
Yes, yeah.
So can we,
yes, I think you'd be fine. Yes, and I'm pretty sure the statute would cover you in that regard.
I thought,
yes, I'm going to make sure about that too. But yeah, it can't just be in your driveway. If you're assigned a specific spot, it can't be that, no, I'm sorry, because you don't have a driveway, you now have to go leave the community with your car. But you're like, wait a minute, I have an assigned spot. You got to still be good.
Quick question
I
here.
thought so. Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jim.
The other comment I had, and you brought this up at the end of last show, and you kind of got into it a little bit at the start of this show, with regard to who runs the community, the management company or the HOA.
Yep.
And clearly we know that the HOA pays the management company, and they're another vendor that they should be managing. However, and I understand there's plenty of board members that are doing the right thing out there. And I'm talking about, not my opinion, but 26 years of being in an HOA and or a condominium.
Yep.
What happens is this. The board members are, and I hate to say this, in my case, after 26 years, incompetent as could be, never read the documents, never got a stitch of education, never availed themselves to any courses. And they hired the management company, and there's an implied, you run the community for us. And then what happens, the other big thing, this happens everywhere, believe me when I tell you this, okay? From experience, not my opinion. Board members and members of the management company, because we hired a portfolio manager, not a property manager, we couldn't afford it. They become egotistically and emotionally involved, and they forget about objectivity, and they advocate for some and advocate against others. Our president, for example, she's more worried about who's right as opposed to what's right. And this happens everywhere, I guarantee you.
So there you go, you're bashing board members again.
Look, again, there's people that maybe get on the board and they're there for so long and get a little complacent, right? And become a king.
A little.
Yeah, and that's, you know, there's calls for like in Congress, term limits, right?
Having to take these courses now is going to change that.
You absolutely, you hope,
yeah.
Right? But that's why also in condo law we have a situation that's going to kick in 2026. 8 years, that's it.
You're done.
Yeah, you're done. So, John, I hear you. What can I say? There's good and bad in every community. So I'm going to read you the statute, the homeowner association statute. And a new law has what it says. Property owner or a tenant, a guest or an invitee of the property owner, homeowner associations can't prevent, a property owner or a tenant, a guest or an invitee of the property owner from parking his or her personal vehicle including a pickup truck in the property owner's driveway, in common parking, in common parking lots, on public roads and right-of-way, or in any other area with the property owner or the property owner's tenant, guest, or invitee has a right to park as governed by state, county, and local municipal regulations. The homeowner association documents, including declarations of covenants, articles, or bylaws, may not prohibit, regardless of any official insignia or vehicle designation, a property owner or a tenant, a guest, or an invitee of the property owner from parking his or her work vehicle, which is not a commercial vehicle, in the property owner's driveway.
Because no HOA has Kaufman.
That's correct. No HOA has
So
Kaufman,
none
so
of
does
that
it even
applies.
apply? Right. That's the question. I just read this whole statute, and Karen said, throw it in the garbage. And and Karen may very well be right, because there's no Kaufman language in an HOA.
Well, we have Kaufman language in ours, and I'll tell you something else the state did. The state actually defined what a commercial vehicle is, which supersedes our documents. They define it as a vehicle that's 26 feet or in length, or three axles or more, and 26,000 pounds, which is 13 tons.
Okay. So everybody should write this down if you're concerned about it. Okay. So the statute tells you to go look at Florida statute 320.01 parentheses 25, 321.01 parentheses 25, and there you'll find the definition of a commercial vehicle. So only vehicles that are in that statute that I just gave you, those can be prohibited from parking at in front of your home. And again, it has to be a commercial vehicle. What is a commercial vehicle? Look at that statute. John, like always, great call. Thanks for keeping us on our toes, but we got to go to the next caller. Yes.
Quick question before
you got it.
Multi-condo question. You know, they want to know if their section can have the state or a conservator. They say the state take it over, but can the condo?
A multi-condominium is one association. Okay, one association that governs several condominiums all in one section. So could you get a receiver to take care of that one section? A judge can do whatever a judge wants to do in that regard.
Okay, there you
If
go.
a judge believes that the other three sections are running fine, and the fourth section is just out of control, and it warrants a receiver, of course a judge can appoint a receiver.
They have their own board in each section.
They typically don't. There's one board managing the fourth building. So let's say the people in all four buildings. So let's say the people in that fourth building say, we're not being treated correct, appropriately, fairly, etc. We go to court. We want a receiver to be appointed to run our one quarter. Anything's possible.
But you're all lumped in with the other ones.
Equity.
Oh, gosh.
Judge has equitable powers to do whatever a judge feels is appropriate.
And you're going to pay for it.
And you're going to pay for it. That's the bottom line.
All right.
Who else we got, Ron?
Let's go to Jackie. She's got a good question about education.
Jackie, good morning.
She's on topic.
Hello.
Yes, how are you? I didn't even realize what time it is. We're
I'm
late.
in the Tampa, pardon me?
No, I'm sorry, Jackie. Go ahead. You're in Tampa.
I'm in the Tampa area HOA board president. I'm concerned about the mandatory education for our 15 board members, 3 neighborhoods who work. Are they able, obviously, to take your in-person classes? Are they also able to take live Zoom classes? But what about recorded classes?
Okay, so this is going to be addressed next year because some of the classes that are out there are a freaking joke.
Oh.
And what happens?
The classes need to be certified.
Yes, which they will. It's going to be tougher next year to actually get your class certified because we have courses now where you just log on, go to the end, get your secret password, email it back, and you get your certificate without having watched 1 second of it.
Why are you telling them
Okay?
this?
Now, I obviously am not going to tell them which ones that is, but I know of classes that where this happens, and it's a joke, it's a fraud, it's sad, but yes, it exists. Again, I don't want you to think I'm selling this, but this is a perfect way to end the show. So a lot of associations are contacting me and saying, wait a minute, these classes, first of all, what I offered, 5, right?
Yeah.
You need 5,000 courses,
Right.
in order to actually teach everybody. So a lot of associations have contacted me and said, hey, we can't do this on these days in these times, and we don't want to sit with 500 people in a room. We want to do it on our own. We'd like to have it private for our community. Can we do it? So I said, sure. Quite frankly, yeah, if you're willing to pay for me to do this by Zoom for a couple of hours, yeah, I'll do it. So I can only tell
That's
you
the answer.
what I'm willing to do, okay? I can only tell you what I'm willing to do.
What about recording it and just having it available to watch?
I really don't want my program recorded, but the truth is, how the hell do I know if
They're
someone's
recording you,
it anyway?
right.
Someone could be videoing the screen, so there's no way for me to stop that, right? So that's the bottom line. But I can't tell you how many this week, how many associations have contacted me about doing
Really?
this. Yeah. So if you want, contact my office if you want to arrange something. If not, maybe there's ways to find other, and yes, this can be done at night, and I'll do it by Zoom, so you can be in Tampa, we can be down here. Everybody can be in their pajamas and take the course if you want, rather than having to take a day off of work. I'm not me, I won't be in my pajamas. All right, maybe I will be in my pajamas. So you can stay home.
Why am I thinking of Jeffrey Toobin here? Sorry.
I'm just on that note. It's
Okay.
just close
Thank
your
you.
book.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So just contact my office, and we'll go to that in a second. We'll end up.
He already put that up.
Yeah. Thank you. Great question to end the show. Also, of course, if you need other legal help during the week, call Glazer and Sachs 954-983-1112. 983-1112. By the way, remember what my line was after Jeffrey Toobin got caught?
No.
On the show?
No.
Manny has his hands full. Remember?
Oh, Lord.
Now he's got his hands full.
Now that's the way to end the show.
Anyway, that's the way to end the show. All right, everybody. So we'll see you again next Sunday, 11 a.m., Condo Craze and HOAs. Everybody have a wonderful, safe week. Be well, and thanks for tuning in.